FDA warns, Kratom ingredient, 7-OH linked to opioid risks. What you need to know. Watch, RFK Jr. and health officials unveil a crackdown on Kratom-related products. In a significant announcement from Washington, U.S. health officials are sounding the alarm about a concerning opioid-related substance that is increasingly being incorporated into energy drinks, gummies, and dietary supplements available at gas stations and convenience stores. They are advocating for a nationwide prohibition of this ingredient. The substance in question is known as 7-hydroxymitragynine, a compound derived from kratom, a plant indigenous to Southeast Asia. Kratom has surged in popularity across the United States as an unapproved remedy for various ailments, including pain, anxiety, and substance dependence. Recently, companies that market kratom supplements have been pressuring the Food and Drug Administration (FDA) to take action against products containing 7-OH, characterizing it as a dangerously potent synthetic variant of the natural ingredient. According to a statement released on Tuesday by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, the FDA's focus is not on natural kratom leaf products. The agency is preparing to publish a report aimed at educating the public about the dangers associated with 7-OH and clarifying how it differs from the kratom plant itself. Furthermore, regulators are recommending that this ingredient be classified under the federal government's most stringent list of illegal drugs, which includes substances like LSD and heroin. FDA Commissioner Marty Makary emphasized, 7-OH is an opioid that can be more potent than morphine. We need regulation and public education to prevent another wave of the opioid epidemic. The FDA's recommendation will undergo review by the Drug Enforcement Administration, DEA, the agency responsible for establishing federal regulations concerning high-risk drugs, including both prescription medications and illegal substances. A national ban will not be implemented until the DEA formulates and finalizes new regulations regarding this ingredient. For nearly a decade, federal regulators have been examining kratom due to reports of addiction, injury, and overdose associated with its use. However, both users and distributors have consistently resisted regulatory efforts, arguing that kratom may serve as a safer alternative to opioid painkillers, which have contributed to the ongoing addiction crisis. In the previous month, the FDA issued warning letters to 7 companies that were selling drinks, gummies, and powders infused with 7-OH. The regulators stated that these products violated FDA regulations because they had not undergone safety evaluations and, in some instances, made claims to treat medical conditions such as pain, arthritis, and anxiety. Executives from the supplement industry welcomed the FDA's actions. Ryan Niddle of Diversified Botanics, a Utah-based company that sells kratom supplements, remarked, "The FDA demonstrated the exact kind of data-driven, proactive regulatory excellence needed to safeguard unwitting consumers across the U.S. The American Kratom Association, an industry group, has been lobbying Congress for years to oppose restrictions on kratom. Legislation backed by this group aims to prevent the FDA from imposing stricter regulations on kratom than those applied to food and dietary supplements. Almost 10 years ago, the federal government nearly banned kratom. In 2016, the DEA proposed to classify kratom as a Schedule I substance, a category reserved for drugs deemed to have no medical use and a high potential for abuse. However, this plan was halted following a surge of public outcry, including a letter signed by over 60 members of Congress. Subsequently, the FDA began investigating kratom, concluding in 2018 that it contains many of the same chemicals found in opioids, the addictive class of drugs that includes painkillers like OxyContin, as well as heroin and fentanyl. Since that time, FDA regulators have continued to issue warnings regarding incidents of injury, addiction, and fatalities linked to kratom supplements, which are typically sold in capsule or powder form. In recent months, the FDA has also issued warnings about other unapproved substances marketed as supplements or energy drinks. The AP is solely responsible for all content. We're not going anywhere. Stand up for truly independent, trusted news that you can count on.